couple of minutes before 9. We have Seth McFarlane with us this morning, known to millions as the creator and one of the voices, well, many of the voices actually, behind Family Guy. Nice to see you, Seth.
You too.
But he has other skills.
Yes, if you saw the BBC Proms last year, you'll know his vocal talent stretched to singing as well. His performance of a selection from the golden era... area. The golden time, the golden age of Hollywood musicals era was a huge success.
It's coming up to 9, you see, Seth, and our mouths don't work.
Batteries,
I feel you.
We're like Duracell bunnies first thing in the morning. It all goes by now. He's about to start a UK tour, and we're speaking to him in a moment. First, let's enjoy a little Singing in the Rain. Seth is here now, watching himself back at the Proms. That must have been some moment for you.
That was an enormous thrill. It was an enormous thrill to do. It was actually my first time in London, and
your first time.
My first time. I'd never
go to the Proms then.
I got a call in LA from Mr. Tom Croxon, who represents the John Wilson Orchestra, and said, are you interested in maybe doing this this live show? We've heard that maybe you're into the whole musical thing. And he described, exactly what it was, and it was just too good to pass up.
But you couldn't really get further away from Family Guy, the sort of irreverent, subversive, often quite rude cartoon series. And if you say the guy who writes that and it's the idea behind it, what else does he do?
Yeah, the common thread is despite the edgy nature of Family Guy, the musicality is something that we do take seriously. We use a fairly large orchestra every week for the show, and that's something that is not necessarily. I don't know if it's still done here at all, but in America, it's almost a lost art in television. People just do everything.
Soundtrack music, theme music and stuff. Mm.
Yeah, people do everything with synths. So to use a live orchestra they're great to be around, and this was truly one of the most amazing orchestras that I'd ever had the privilege of working with. I mean, they're just astonishingly good.
And is it swing? Is that the thing that you love most? The sort of genre of music?
We just taped the Swingin' Christmas special, and we're now getting ready to do the tour of the show that you showed the clip of, and it's a tribute to MGM musicals of the 40s and 50s. And it's throughout. It's Bournemouth, Nottingham.
It's all right. You don't have to go through.
I
can see.
But it's worth mentioning that there are still tickets available in Cardiff and in Gateshead, which is the hometown of John Wilson, the conductor.
Yeah, great stuff. Can we talk about Family Guy for a minute? And before we do, we have to remind ourselves and make other people familiar with what it's all about. Have a look at this.
Yeah. Says the talking dog.
Exactly, that's what's weird.
Sitting in front of the toddler who speaks with a British accent.
Yes,
Stewie.
Whether it's a good British accent or not,
it's definitive.
Can you give us a little bit?
I'm almost embarrassed to do it here. Those such lovely, wonderful people.
How did you construct Family Guy? I mean, how did you get that idea together?
Well, I'd always been a fan of animation. I'd been drawing since I was about 2 years old, and The Simpsons became a fairly big success in the States, and in a lot of ways rewrote the rule book of what you could do with animation. And suddenly, you had a primetime show for adults that was animated. And
you say it's for adults. It really is, because there are some quite controversial themes that you tackle in Family Guy.
Yeah. And we had that's something again that the Simpsons kind of reinvented that. Not since the Flintstones, really, was there a show that was targeted at adults in prime time, and we don't recommend the show for younger viewers.
No, and you do how many of the voices in it yourself?
I do Peter the father, Brian the dog, and obviously Stewie.
Yeah.
And on a weekly basis, there's generally about, there can be as many as 15 or 20 additional voices that I have to do.
How long does it take to get an episode together?
It takes, for each episode to be produced, it takes 9 months.
No.
Yeah.
Presumably you're doing several.
But they're all but they're also, isn't it all hand drawn?
They're all still hand drawn. Yeah. The only difference is we color them with computers.
Right.
It's sort of a point and click thing, but they're all still hand drawn.
It's amazing you've got time to do anything else.
Yeah, I don't.
So you're leaving it with your staff now as you go off on tour?
Yeah.
What is that? So is that it for Family Guy? No more episodes for a while while you're busy doing something else?
The show, it's been built into the show it's been built into the show's schedule that they can hopefully handle it without me for 2 weeks.
Would you do us a huge favour and do the back announcers, they're on cue, in Peter's voice?
Of course. Am I reading off this?
Yeah.
Yep.
The tour starts on Friday, and the BBC DVD, a celebration of classic MGM film musicals, is out now.
You see?
I almost want you to do the next bit as Stewie. Go on. The next bit
What is it? Simone?
Vincent Simone.
Okay, Simone. I was nowhere near. Felicity Kendall and her dance partner Vincent Simone, however you blokes want to pronounce it, will be here in a moment.
Well done. Hurrah.
Thanks so much.
Round of applause for that
Thank you.
man. Thank you, Seth. Lovely to see you.
You too. Thank you
That's
so
the last
much.
time I let you imitate me on this very day. They were voted off Strictly Come Dancing over the weekend, and we'll talk to them in just a moment. First, his last quick look at what's happening where you are.
Do we all speak like this then?